Today we're covering the many styles of jig heads out there, and there are a ton of them. A jig head is a hook with a weight built in near the eye of the hook. For an explanation of fishing hooks and the different types of hooks, see our two-part series on fishing hooks linked in the video description. The round head jig is the most common type of jig head, and it can be used with a variety of live baits and artificial baits. You can load it up with a live worm or thread it through a plastic swim bait or grub for a very simple but very effective lure. They also work incredibly well with plastic craw baits. A football head jig has a very wide football-shaped head on it. These jigs are best used in rocky or gravelly areas where the wide head helps to avoid getting snagged between rocks. A football head jig will still get snagged though, so you still have to be careful throwing it directly into rock piles. I like to work it along the edges of rock piles and across gravel bars by dragging it slowly and twitching it to get the plastic trailer wiggling back and forth. A moony jig is made by VMC, but other companies make similar jigs with large eyes. These large eyes seem to entice bites, and the name comes from the moony, which is a large minnow-like species with a huge eye. One of my favorite jig setups is a moony jig with a small paddletail swimbait. A rattling jig head has a small bead or metal ball inside the head or in a tube outside of the jig. The extra rattle in these jigs causes more vibration, which can help attract fish in murky water. A propeller jig is a jig head with a propeller behind it. This creates extra vibration and flash around the bait. It's a good lure to use in warmer water when fish tend to be more aggressive and looking for a larger meal. You don't want to use it where there's a lot of algae or debris in the water because that stuff will get stuck on the propeller. A shaky head jig has a flat top on it, which allows it to sit with the bait pointed up in the water. A classic way to fish this jig is to twitch it or shake it while you drag it along the bottom. It looks like a distracted minnow feeding on the bottom, and predators see it as an easy target. Weedless jigs have plastic or metal bristles coming out of the hook eye that cover the point. This allows vegetation or other debris to slide over the bristles and away from the hook point. These are best used in areas with light vegetation or small sticks in the water. Tungsten jigs are made from tungsten instead of lead. Tungsten is a very dense material, so you can get the same weight with a smaller jig size. These jigs sink very quickly, so they're great when fishing really deep. They're also very popular for ice fishing since fish are often near the bottom in the winter and you want to get your jig down to where the fish are right away. A marabou jig or hair jig has hairs or feathers surrounding the hook point. These jigs are very popular for crappies and walleyes. When the jig is wet, it has a slim profile and gentle fluttering action for attracting picky fish that often short strike baits. An underspin jig has a small spinner blade beneath it. These come in many sizes, and the best underspin jigs have the blade held away from the jig head. If the blade is too close to the plastic trailer, it won't have enough room to spin. It looks nice in the package, but won't perform the way you think it will underwater. Check out our quick video on underspins and how to use them for more tips on these neat jigs, and stay tuned for part 2 of this video where we'll cover more specialty types of jig heads. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll catch you next time.